is Gina Leggio of Selfless Esteem, in which you find peace and joy by focusing less on ourselves and more on the love of God. Today's episode is a bittersweet Christmas special. Some of you are celebrating Christmas. Some are grieving the loss of loved ones. Some are exhausted from the past year. Some are excited. Some are happy. Some are unhappy. And some are all of the above. Is your Christmas mug half empty or half full? The title of the song, Hard Candy Christmas, sung by Dolly Parton, is a good analogy of a Christmas with mixed emotions. I've never seen the musical or movie on which it's based, so I don't know the context in that respect, but I do appreciate this beautiful song. The very first Christmas didn't have images of smiling snowmen, cute penguins, or fun reindeer to balance the downsides. Looking at chapter 2 of the Gospel of Luke, let's reflect on how bittersweet the Christmas story was. The first line of the story of Jesus' birth is Luke chapter 2 verse 1, which says, "Now in those days a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be enrolled." Already the tone is set that a government leader has exerted his power, causing an inconvenience for everyone. Consequently, Joseph and Mary went to Bethlehem, which had so many people that they couldn't find a room at any inns, and resorted to using a feeding trough for a crib. And you can find that in Luke chapter 2, verses 4 through 7. Let's pause there because that sometimes gets glossed over. Have you ever been inconvenienced by the government and crowds? Have you ever been inconvenienced while trying to do God's will? Imagine Joseph and Mary's feelings at this point, because after all, they were mere human beings. They probably felt confused and dismayed. Have you ever felt confused and dismayed by your circumstances? But at the same time, a multitude of angels sent by God were announcing Jesus' birth to shepherds who quickly went to Bethlehem and shared this experience, as stated in Luke chapter 2, verses 8 through 19. Joseph and Mary must have felt greatly comforted and reassured by this news. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33 says, "God is not a God of confusion, but of peace." When you're doing the will of God, you can trust Him in spite of your feelings and circumstances and have underlying peace as a result. But wait, there's more. As we continue in the second chapter of Luke, verses 22 through 39, we read about the presentation in the temple. Again, we see how Joseph and Mary didn't have a flawless experience. Their offering of birds indicates their financial means at the time because they couldn't afford a lamb. And you can find that in Leviticus chapter 12, verse 8. I would have assumed the Son of God would have had great wealth from day one and had a solid gold bassinet. But as mentioned, he slept in a feeding trough in a barn. And although they received inspiring prophecies of redemption from Simeon and Anna, Simeon told Mary, "Yes, a sword will pierce through your own soul." And that's Luke chapter 2, verse 35. Let's pause again because that's so easy to pass over, especially since that line is actually in parentheses in the scriptures. What an unsettling statement from Simeon. But it shows that ups and downs have been present during Christmas time ever since the very first Christmas. I encourage you to read carefully through the first 2 chapters of the Gospel of Matthew with the same scrutiny as we did with the Gospel of Luke. Then you'll find more details of the good, the bad, and the ugly, including a king who wants to, quote, seek the young child to destroy him. That's in Matthew chapter 2, verse 13. In conclusion, a Christmas with mixed emotions and circumstances is totally normal. So the true meaning of Christmas is that God loves us so much that He sent Jesus to an imperfect world to save us. And that's John chapter 3, verses 11 through 21. May you receive His love and have a merry, albeit imperfect, Christmas. And if you'd like to ask a question, you can do so at ginaleggio.com anonymously, and the answer could be featured in a blog post, podcast episode, and YouTube video.